Hello, everyone. Welcome to the TravelZoo fourth quarter 2020 financial results conference call. All participants have been placed in a listen-only mode, and the floor will be open for questions following the presentation. Today's call is being recorded. The company would like to remind you that all statements made during this conference call and presented in the slides that are not statements of historical facts constitute forward-looking statements and are made pursuant to the safe harbor provisions of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Actual results could vary materially from those contained in the forward-looking statements. Factors that could cause actual results to differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements are described in the company's Form 10-K and 10-Q and other periodic filings with the SEC. Unless required by law, the company undertakes no obligation to update publicly any forward-looking statements, whether as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise. Please refer to the company's website for important information, including the company's earnings press release issued early this morning. An archived recording of this conference call will be made available on the TravelZoo Investor Relations website at travelzoo.com/ir. Now it's my pleasure to turn the floor over to TravelZoo's Global CEO, Holger Bartel, and his Chief Accounting Officer, Lisa Su. Lisa will start with an overview of the third quarter 2020 financial results.
Thank you, operator, and welcome to those of you joining us today. Please open the management presentation to follow along with our prepared remarks. The presentation in PDF format is available on our investor relations website at travelzoo.com/ir. On the first slide on page number 3, you can see our Q4 revenue was $12.5 million. We see continued improvement in our business. Q4 revenue was, in our opinion, not indicative of this trend. The revenue for Q1 2021 is expected to grow, and a stabilizing trend that also shows in our significant increase in EPS from Q3 to Q4. Starting with Q3 2020, TravelZoo has decided to provide information on our non-GAAP operating income going forward, as we believe it better explains how management evaluates performance. Slide 4 shows the non-GAAP operating income, which changed year over year from $3.1 million to $547,000. We believe the financial performance is in line with our expectations. Slide 5 provides details on the items that are excluded in a calculation of non-GAAP operating income. Let's continue now to slide 6. Our continued success in voucher sales keeps pushing the positive development in our cash balances. As of December 31st, 2020, consolidated cash, cash equivalents, and restricted cash were $64.2 million. Slides 7 and 8 detail our revenues by business segment. When neutralizing FX changes, the North America business segment recorded a decrease in revenue of 45% year over year, and the Europe business segment recorded a decrease in revenue of 72% year over year. While revenues from local still stagnated in Q4, advertising revenue picked up compared to the previous quarter as advertisers have started coming back to make use of TravelZoo's reach. On slide 9, you can see that the quick adjustments of our cost structure at the beginning of the pandemic has resulted in lower fixed costs. Non-GAAP operating expenses were reduced by 47%, mostly coming from headcount adjustments in sales and marketing and process optimization in the company. In summary, as you see on slide 10, Q4 was in line with our expectations. Looking ahead, we expect revenue for Q1 to be in the range of $14 to $15 million. For operating expenses, we expect approximately $14.7 million. We expect for Q1 to result close to break even or at a profit. Now Holger will provide additional information and insights.
Thank you, Lisa. Please turn to slide 11. As we see vaccination programs progressing and consumer confidence slowly strengthening, our members are becoming more active in responding to deals and buying them. We started seeing this trend in particular in the US during the last 2 weeks. We now see the strongest activity from TravelZoo members in the US since March 2020, as measured by user sessions on the TravelZoo site and app. In the UK, we noticed a spike in purchases in week 8. What happened? Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced a timeline for removal of COVID-related restrictions. We clearly see as soon as the situation improves, consumers quickly wish to travel. We arrive at slide 12. TravelZoo is loved by travel enthusiasts who look for high-quality deals. TravelZoo members are affluent, active, and open for new experiences. 75% say that TravelZoo influences their travel destinations because they trust TravelZoo. We feel that trust will become a much more important competitive advantage of the TravelZoo brand going forward. Finally, on slide 14, we provide an overview of management's focus. We will expand and seize the exceptional industry opportunities for sourcing high-quality travel, entertainment, and local deals, continue to offer members flexible and worry-free deals for future travel, grow Jack's Flight Club's profitable subscription revenue, and grow profitability as the demand for travel returns. Now back to the operator.
The floor is now open for questions. If you do have a question, please press the star followed by the 1 on your touch-tone phone at this time. Once again, if you have a question, ladies and gentlemen, that is star followed by 1 on your touch-tone phones. Please hold while we poll for your questions. Our first question comes from the line of Michael Kopinski of Noble Capital Markets. Your line is now open.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the questions. Can you talk a little bit about the competitor that exited the market in the U.S. and how were you able to pick up the 2 million subscribers there? And then how big was the competitor and what is the potential subscribers that you might eventually pick up? And I have a couple of follow-ups.
Hi, Michael. I cannot comment on this topic today, but we will issue some more information on this when we are ready to do so.
Okay. And then can you talk a little bit about the declines in subscribers in Europe and the competitive position there? When do you feel that you will need to step on the investment accelerator to gain subscribers to kind of, as a result of the bounce of the mitigation efforts, kind of waning of COVID?
Sure. The decline of the subscribers in Europe is actually more a result of adding new subscribers a little bit more slowly, as we know, particularly in the UK and in Europe. In the European Union, there have been quite a lot of travel restrictions. Businesses are shut down. Unsubscribe rates have actually been lower than in the past. So net, we just see a small decline right now because we're not adding as many members as we have done in the past. But once travel resumes and we see clearly the trend in the UK picking up strongly, we are planning to add more subscribers and reverse this trend and grow again.
Gotcha. And then if you could talk a little bit about Jack's Flight Club, because the revenues seemed a little disappointing to me. I mean, a little softer than I would have expected. I know this is a promising new growth vehicle for you, and I was just wondering if you could talk about your plans to accelerate revenue growth there and what you think looking forward we might look for from Jack's Flight Club.
Yes. Same here. It's just simply a matter of time. In the TravelZoo business, we are right now offering our members deals for future travel. They have a lot of flexibility. We've been very successful with the vouchers that we've been selling over the last 10 to 11 months. Jack's Flight Club is focused solely on airfares, airline tickets. And that's obviously something that takes a little bit longer to come back. But as soon as people are more flying, then I think we will see that revenue grow in the future.
And Holger, if I remember, you were planning on moving Jack's Flight Club beyond just the airline travel, and you were trying to incorporate other aspects of your business into Jack's Flight Club. Has that not happened yet, or what are your thoughts? What are you doing there yet at this point to integrate?
Yes, we are doing this when the timing is right. We started introducing Jack's Flight Club to our U.S. members, and we just have to pick the right time when it's good to do so. We expect that to happen in the next couple of months.
Okay, gotcha. I'll let others ask questions. Thank you for taking my questions.
Sure, Michael, you're welcome.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Jim Goss with Barrington Research. Your line is now open.
Thanks. First, I'll follow up on Michael's questions about Jack's Flight Club. I was wondering if the challenging situation that caused some write-downs related to it would impact the price you would have to pay to purchase the rest of that asset, or is it cast in stone from the first deal?
Lisa, you want to answer this question, please?
Yes, so we have a put call option to purchase the remaining 40% based on if they achieve certain thresholds. At this time, that number is undeterminable. It depends on how the 2021 results come out. But I would expect that that's something that we will discuss later this year. It's not fixed in stone at all.
All right, thank you.
But the choice, just to be clear, Jim, the choice is in our hands. So we have the full right to acquire these total 100% of Jack's Flight Club, and then we will consolidate it fully. Right now, we are not consolidating it fully.
Okay, thanks, Holger. Secondly, staffing. I know it's maybe one of the silver linings has been, while it's unpleasant to cut down on staff, it's helped your cost structure, but I imagine some of that might have to be rebuilt as you resume some growth profile, particularly in sales and marketing. And I'm wondering if you could comment on how that might roll out and how you might strategize the return of some of those costs and expenses that have been saved to this point.
We are not anticipating, Jim, any significant increases in the cost structure this year. Yes, you are right. We will probably increase marketing spend, particularly for subscriber acquisition, but the expenses will be far well below pre-COVID levels.
Okay, and finally, I was wondering if there are any key metrics we should be looking at to evaluate a resurgence in leisure travel that would impact you domestically, or I guess in the United States and North America. But also, it would be great to hear some insights in terms of Europe, which seems to have had even more strict border controls, and how you see that market reopening in terms of travel, both within Europe and from Europe to other countries.
Yes, it's really about consumer confidence overall, correct? And the metric is probably to see how consumers are looking to jump back into travel. What we are seeing here, as well as other companies, and that's why I gave earlier this UK example, as soon as there's clarity on when people can travel again, there's an immediate jump. And we heard from other companies in the UK that their revenues went up after that Boris Johnson speech by quite a bit. Also, what we are seeing is that people are much more interested now in destinations they might not have thought about before. Places like Maldives, Southeast Asia, further away, one-of-a-kind experiences, safaris. It's clear that there is, on the one hand, very strong pent-up demand for travel in general, but in particular for experiences that might even cost more. So I think this is something that will be good for the entire industry and particularly for us.
Okay, and am I correct in thinking that the European continent has been more restrictive and continues to be more restrictive than certain other, borders? And are you thinking later this summer or into 2022, or how soon before you sense there's going to be any relief that would enable people to make those choices?
U.S. recovered the most quickly. Actually, you see traffic and member interest is already higher than 12 months ago. Next is the UK, which has accelerated quite a bit since the middle of February. And we expect Germany, Spain, and France to come soon after. I don't think it's a matter of 6 to 9 months. I think the recovery will happen more quickly, and we will see that on the revenue side of TravelZoo as well.
All right. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Sure, Jim.
Thank you. Our next question comes from the line of Ed Wu with Ascendiant Capital. Your line is now open.
Yeah, thank you. You mentioned that as soon as the travel restrictions are lifted, you plan on adding more subscribers. Is that similar to your expectations for revenue growth in terms of you'll expect to add marketing expenses maybe at the end of this quarter, maybe next quarter to ramp up the subscriber growth?
It depends on the opportunity for us. In fact, we have increased a little bit marketing spend this quarter because we are able to acquire in the US right now new members at lower acquisition costs than in the last 12 months or even before COVID. So that's good. And when we see these opportunities, we will take advantage of them.
Great. At least for now, as subscriber costs, have they been lower or about the same, or have increased as things are opening up?
Right now in the US, they are lower than what we've seen in the past. In Europe, we are not really doing much subscriber acquisition because it's not the right time.
Great. And my last question is, there's a lot of discussion, the rise of alternative accommodations. People don't want to stay in hotels. People want to stay in houses. Have you seen a shift back to hotels as, cases have come down? Or do you think, it's more of a permanent shift in the way people travel?
What we have seen in the UK is really a strong interest on domestic travel very quickly after, hopefully in May, the travel restrictions will go away and hotels will reopen. In the US, there's more interest in actually going to faraway places and being a little bit more adventurous.
Great. Well, thank you and good luck.
Sure.
Thank you. Our last question comes from the line of Steve Silver with Argus Research. Your line is now open.
Thank you, and good morning, everybody. A couple from me. First, I noticed that talking about the licensing revenues coming out of Asia, that obviously it's just getting off the ground there with the lag, so the Q4 revenues would reflect Q3, which was really just at the beginning of the transaction. I was just curious to know if even directionally, if there's any insights you might have in terms of the rebound of travel in Asia that might just give some sense of the trajectory in that region moving forward.
Hi, Steve. So as you saw from previous announcement, we have done license agreements in some of these countries. In Japan, our licensee is reporting that things are recovering, so that's good. and in Australia, Singapore, and Southeast Asia, our activity or the activity level of the licensee is not that great yet. But keep in mind that in Southeast Asia and China, travel is still a little bit more restricted than it is in North America.
Okay, great. And then last one, given the competition leaving the U.S. market, as you mentioned in the press release, as well as the divestiture of your interest in the WeGo subsidiary, I'm just trying to get a sense as to whether the marketplace has a lot of startup activity going on that might present new opportunities, given all the disruption and changes in travel around the world, and whether there might be opportunity for smaller players to get in, or really if just a lot of the larger players are maintaining a dominant share of the market moving forward.
We still believe that Jack's Flight Club, that subscription service, is a really big opportunity for us. We would be much further today than if COVID and the pandemic had not happened. So that just was paused, but that's still a big opportunity for us going forward. Beyond that, we've all seen TripAdvisor make announcements about subscription programs. This obviously is a great opportunity for us as well. We have provided our services, and it's a very valuable service to TravelZoo members because we are providing them with exclusive offers already. We have provided the service completely for free over many years, but we believe going forward in the future there are probably opportunities to also implement some fees for members paying for some of the excellent services that we have.
Great. Thank you very much, and congratulations on the execution in a very challenging year.
Great. Thank you so much, Steve.
Okay. I'll turn back now to Mr. Holger Bartel.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time and support, and we look forward to speaking with you again next quarter. Have a great day.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's teleconference. You may disconnect your lines at this time. Have a nice day.